Netflix recently announced that they are getting a new head of animation, and while that might be good, this is a trend in Hollywood that really needs to stop. Hannah is taking over the head of animation from their previous head of animation, but that head of animation didn't even last 2 years. They were barely there. I'm not going to comment on if I think that person did a good job, because there's a lot of factors that even now we still don't know about today. For one, the stock crashed quite a bit when that happened, so there might have been some changes going on that they had no idea about. Also, Netflix got a brand new head of film, and they might have a brand new vision that that head of animation just wasn't a part of. Regardless of whether they did a good job or not, my main concern with this is they were only there for 2 years, and 2 years is not enough time to completely redo a studio and see your vision come to life. You can't do that at most companies, you really can't do that in film, and you especially can't do that in animation. So I've worked at several studios where we got a new CEO or we got a new president because the old ones got fired. It's kind of a trend for me. I might be the problem for all I know. I'm the common denominator. And when a new president in film starts, there are a lot of movies that they just can't do anything about. There are movies that are completed. There are movies that are in post-production. There are movies that are in the middle of production, or movies that are just about to go into production. Besides reshoots, you can't do anything about those. And you are running a movie studio. You have to have movies come out, even though they're not exactly what you want. You are still creating a product, and that product needs to be released. And sure, some of these projects you can shut down midway through and save some money. You can write them off, you can sell them to a different studio, but you still have a gap of movies that you need to make. So you have all these movies coming out that you don't want to be made, but you need to release them, and everyone is looking at you like you made them. And it just takes a long time to see new movies from a new president. So for instance, I was at one studio and I quit in 2020, and they got a new president in 2021, and it took until the tail end of 2022 for me to see a movie that I hadn't worked on, that I hadn't recognized, that I had no idea about. Everything that came out in between those years, I had worked on, I had touched, I know about them. And even after that movie came out in 2022, most of their slate in 2023 I recognized or I worked on. So it takes just a long time to clear out the movies that you didn't want to make in the first place. And in animation, it's even longer. A live action movie can be made in around a year if you're ready and you have a script, but most likely 2 years is the actual timeline. For an animated film, it's around 3 to 5 years, and that's if you're really lucky in pushing it. Which means it could take 5 years just to see a new film underneath a new animation president and finally see what they were trying to do. So 2 years, it's not enough time to create a new slate. And there's been a huge trend of just high executive turnover rate where they're not even getting a full 5 years on this job. And when that happens, projects get shut down because these executives want to get their slate out as soon as possible because they know time is of the essence. And when that happens, people get laid off. Projects go away, all of people's work just goes away. It takes a long time to see what a new president of a studio can do, and I think studios need to be more patient. Look at Sony Pictures Animation. They are cooking with gas over there. They are doing amazing. And that president has been there almost 10 years. But if you look at when they started, I highly doubt the movies that came out are of near quality to what they're producing now, because that's how long it takes for a vision to come about. But I fear every studio and kind of every company at this point is so short-term thinking. They only care about their stock price. They only want results every 3 months. And it's really hard to get long-term success when you're so focused on short-term success. So overall, I hope this new president does well. I hope they make really good movies. I hope they reinvigorate the animation industry because a lot of people are hurting right now. But most of all, I hope they get the time that they need in order to make something memorable. Hey everyone, my name is Ben. I love talking about movies, I love talking about TV, and I really love talking about the business side of entertainment. I come from the entertainment industry. I've worked in this industry for about 5 years, so I just like to talk about it and share my thoughts. Follow, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube stuff if you want to keep watching. I'm going to keep making, so see you around.